guys, this is the first I'm doing in a series of lessons that I'm going to be working on feeling rhythm and feeling the funk in your picking hand on the guitar. I find that with probably 80% of the people I give guitar lessons to, they come in thinking they want to learn theory and that kind of thing, but it quickly becomes apparent that really one of the major things that they need to work on is their picking hand technique. Part of the problem is it's a little bit hard to teach, and it's especially hard to teach over the internet on YouTube videos, but I'm going to make the effort here. In fact, I think that feeling rhythm in your pick technique is one of the most overlooked things about guitar lessons in general, and yet it's possibly the most important aspect of your guitar playing. The song I'm going to use today is Give It Up or Turn It Loose by James Brown. In fact, if you're interested in learning the funk in general, I would highly recommend grabbing some James Brown albums and copying what his guitar players do, because that's about as funky as funk gets. So what I'm going to do is play this guitar part through for you a couple times up to tempo, and then start to break it down and kind of look at some of the things about it that make it sound the way it does. And then finally what I'll do is give you sort of a method for working your way up to this so that you're really feeling that rhythm in your pick. So I'm going to play this along with a metronome so that you can hear how all my notes fall in relation to the beat. There's a few different versions of this song out there, but the one I'm going to use seems to fall at about 100 beats per minute. So I'm going to start my metronome up here. Play it for you. So one observation I'll make right off the bat about this, and really about most funk rhythms in general, is that they tend to be very staccato, meaning the notes are kind of short and quick. You don't want notes ringing out for very long for the most part. One of the things that I'm doing to sort of achieve that staccato sound is I'm actually using the pressure on my fretting hand. So after I play those three notes, I immediately let the pressure up after the third so it cuts off. I'm also probably, now that I think about it, using my palm a little bit on my picking hand just to kind of dull that note and give it a little more of a thud kind of sound. Another observation, and this is what I'm going to get into in the later part of the lesson, is that a lot of the notes tend to fall on upstrokes with the pick, and that has to do with where the note sits in relation to the beat. And so that gets me to the main thing that I want to talk about here, which is the way you feel the rhythm in your picking hand. So your hand basically acts as a metronome as you play. If you watch most guitar players play, their hand is doing this the entire time that they're playing, whether they're doing rhythm or lead. So a lot of it is learning to just feel that beat in your picking hand. One more observation I'll make is that most funk rhythms have a 16th note feel to them. So if the rhythm is here at 100 beats per minute, in your mind you're subdividing that by 4. So one thing you could even do to practice that would just be to take a single note and just play 16th notes to a metronome. Again, here I'm at 100 beats per minute. When I'm doing that, I try to give a little extra emphasis to the note that falls on the beat. This way I can kind of really learn to feel that beat within what I'm doing. So let me show you again. But in addition to that note that's on the strong beat, I'm subdividing each beat by 4. But what I want to do for learning purposes for this rhythm part is I'm going to start by cutting the rhythm in half. So I'm going to keep the tempo the same, but I'm going to play eighth notes, in other words, only 2 notes per beat. This is going to feel really slow at first, but I want you to pay extra attention to my pick direction as I play this. So here we are, 100 beats per minute again. So now I'm subdividing each beat by just 2. But notice every time my downward stroke with the pick falls on that beat. In particular, pay attention to which notes fall on the beat, which again are always on the downstroke with my pick, but a lot of these notes actually fall on an upstroke with my pick, and they're falling in between the beats. Those last 3 notes, right? And even when I'm playing those notes that fall on the upstroke, I really try to feel the beat after that. Even though I'm not actually playing on that beat, I still feel it here in my pick. So the method that I really like to use in order to kind of get the feel for this is to take that halftime and then slowly inch the tempo up. So we're at 100 beats per minute right now. I'm going to abbreviate this and I'm going to jump straight to 120. You might want to go in increments of more like 10 at a time until you really get the feel for this. Okay, feeling pretty good there. Now I'm going to go to 140. Now I'm going to notch the tempo up one more time and go 160. And you'll see as we get to this point, roughly, that the rhythm starts feeling pretty ridiculously fast, but I'll show you anyway. You see, once I get to about 160, that beat's going pretty quick. It can still be really helpful to go that fast with the metronome, just so you can really learn to feel those downstrokes on every click of the metronome. But like I was saying, really the funk feel tends to be more of a 16th note based thing where you're feeling 4 notes per beat. So what I'm going to do at this point, once I've hit like 160, give or take, I end up cutting the rhythm in half. So I'm going to cut it down to 80, but I'm going to play the thing the exact same way. This is Maddie, by the way. So now I've got the metronome clicking at 80 instead of 160, but I'm feeling 4 notes per beat. So still, the alternating in my picking hand never changes. So here's that rhythm now with more of a 16th note feel. And then finally I'm going to bring it up to tempo, about 100 beats per minute, and play it for you one more time at that speed. So when you're doing these funk rhythms the right way, it really feels like you're locked into the beat. Like there's almost no way you could not play on the beat. So you really want to get in the habit of like feeling rhythm in your pick, and this will carry over to when you play lead as well, not just rhythm parts. Keep an eye out for more videos in this series. I think the more different examples you do of this, the better you'll get at it. And then I'll eventually take a look at how to apply this sort of syncopation to your lead playing as well as your rhythm playing.